always add people later.
Yeah. And we're live. Yay! We did it. We figured it
Woo!
out.
Yeah, got it done. Figured out. Yeah.
Mm, I said fingered it out.
Figured, figured.
Fingered. Fingered.
We don't want
You
to
figured
figure
it out.
We fingered it out. Shoot, I was like, man, come on now.
Yeah,
Now it's not pulling chat. I can't
Anita
pull
was about to
chat
lose.
up.
You gotta go up where comments is, where it says comments and
I am. And it's telling me chat with us and it's wanting to know my name and all this kind of
Oh
crapola.
Lord, you might have to go on your phone and do that then.
Oh, are you on your phone?
No, I'm on
No,
my
I'm
laptop.
on my
I use
laptop.
phone too.
Okay, I'm on my laptop and I don't see that. I
You
have
gotta
private
use-
chat and comments.
Well, I've got private chat and comments and I'm trying to go into comments and it's
Should be blue. It would be blued out if that's where you're at. And it says StreamYard live viewer comments show up on StreamYard. This is an example.
There you go.
Guys, hello.
I renamed it. Hello, 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 hello.
You're in the show.
It's the itchy, scratchy show. What?
There's our Wayno.
Oh,
Oh, he's in chat.
Yeah, he's in
Hey, Wayne.
hey, Wayne.
My poor baby's the only one in chat right now.
I feel you, Wayne.
We still alive, baby.
When I go live, I think the most I've ever had was maybe 5 at a time, and then it just kept falling out
Oh wow.
until it was just me and Johnny.
I'll never forget the first time I ever went live. I didn't have hardly anybody in my chat the first 3 times I went live. Maybe 1 or 2 people, and that was it.
You just talked either
Me
way,
and
right?
Johnny,
Yep.
me and Joe, me and Johnny.
You got to. I mean, that's the only way you're gonna get people in is if you just keep talking.
Closed
Yeah.
mouth don't get fed.
That's right.
Wow. I ain't heard that in a long time.
I've been dropping these
Cliche.
one-liners.
Cliche. We're going to call you the cliche man.
The clue, the what? The cliche man.
Yeah, he's the cliche man.
Oh, okay.
All the cliches.
You guys, so who gets to go first on the ghost story?
Whatever
Oh,
you
yeah.
got one, go for it.
Me? Okay, well,
Have at it.
I bought, it was at a trailer home that I bought. And I was like 20, but it was a guy had passed away in there, but he was like 600 pounds.
Oh, good Lord.
And everybody was like, he just ate himself to death. But because he would always get like food, he would eat out all the time and food would always be going there. But anyway, he passed away in the trailer. And a lot of his stuff was there. Like a guy was into music and, you know, it was just like remnants of this dude. And I kept some of it. But the first time really spooked me out. We had a big water bed. A cake, there's like this much walk space if you live in a trailer.
Mm.
Okay. Well, I was laying down going to bed, and like right before I almost fell asleep, something goes boo in my ear.
Ooh.
And I felt the breath. And I looked over at her. She's over there sleeping. There's no way she could have ran around the bed, you know. So
To your side.
she was way over on her side.
Mm-hmm.
That happened. And like I said, the guy had like music, had big stereo and shit. Well, it started happening at midnight. This fucking radio would come on 100%
Oh, fuck off.
loud. Like, what the fuck is this? You know, I out there. and it happened like twice. As far as I remember, it was a while ago, but and it was just so weird. It was coming on at midnight, full blast. Nobody's out there. We're just sleeping. Oh, and another time in the kitchen, a couple was we were hanging out with was leaving, and I had like one of those microwave had shelves on top. Well, they were closed, and then all of a sudden, a can of corn came out of the cupboard and went bang right
Oh,
down
shit.
on the microwave. And they were like,
And they
"Okay,
were
well, we
hungry.
got."
They were wanting to eat.
It was like, "Okay, we got to go."
Time to go.
Like corn, but not that much. So it's time to leave.
Yeah.
I think we'll go to McDonald's. See you later.
I used to like. Sounds weird, but I would leave a plate out.
Oh damn!
Mm.
Anything ever happen with the plate?
No, I don't know. I'd say that, and then I'd like leave it on the in the fridge or whatever, the counter. Anyway, I think that's about it for me.
I think I would buy a bunch of boxes of Hostess and just put one in every fucking corner.
Mm.
Far away from
Fuck
you.
salt. You need Hostess for this kind of matter. No salt, no sage. Twinkies. That's what you need.
Right?
Oh my god, 600 pounds. Oh,
Yeah.
it's horrible.
Well, I got a really good deal on that trailer.
I'll bet you did.
But another creepy thing.
Oh god.
My fiance, her mom lived right across the street, and she had got a really good deal on a cheap trailer because the guy blew his head off in the back room.
Oh,
And
shit.
on the ceiling, sorry if that was too graphic, there was a board where they patched it. Like, but I think that whole place had some bad
Juju.
yeah.
Energy. Yeah.
Sounds like it. A lot of times it's not your homes, it's the land that could be
Right.
connected with it too. That does a lot
Or
of the
something
harm.
that's been brought in my house or something. Yeah.
Or maybe you're just close by and, you know.
It
I
said,
think
hey, I'll go visit.
I,
I don't think I
I
want to go to visit mom right now. I'll visit neighbor Larry.
Larry.
Neighbor Larry.
This one house me and my second husband moved into and lived in Flint. You know how Flint is. You've been to Flint.
Oh God.
It's known for a lot of history like that.
Mm-hmm.
And we moved into this one house.
That's so bad now out there.
Oh yeah, it's real bad now. That's why we moved out of there a few years ago. But anyway, we moved into this one house, and it was a 2-story house. It was 3-bedroom. There was 2 bedrooms upstairs and a bedroom downstairs. And the night we moved in, I had just had one of my kids a couple of days before that. And we moved into this house, and my husband forgot to grab light bulbs, so he had to go up to the store down the road from us. They're on Wynn Davidson. It was what's the name of that street up there at Buck Freeman? Well, anyhow, it was off in that area. And he went up to the store to get the bulbs, and I went to go inside, and all of a sudden I hear this. I thought it was the house settling, because the house will settle and make noise or whatever. I thought, okay, that's all it is. I'm blowing it off. So I sat there a few minutes, couldn't see to do anything because, like I said, we was waiting to get the bulbs.
Oh,
I had met the neighbor already down the street later on that day when we was first coming over there to unload stuff, and I seen him coming home, and all of a sudden I heard that sound again and got louder.
the
I'm like,
phone
oh
was on
hell
vibrate.
no, Dina or Lady Blind, want to come back in? It might be you because we're showing fine here.
I can't. You're Wayne is going to have to mod because
I've already got him,
Oh, okay.
but anyway,
I ain't doing shit.
so anyway,
I just,
they pulled in the driveway. Well, that kind of freaked me out. So I called her up there. I called the girl from up down the street up there, and she came up there to me and she said, "What's the matter?" Because I was pregnant, and no, I was pregnant with one and had one that was only under a year old. That's what it was. And so anyway, she thought I was going to labor. I said, "No, I'm fine." I said, "But I heard something in the house, but I didn't know what it was. I didn't know if somebody could be in there or what, you know." And so, hey, Matt.
Yeah, I'm listening.
So anyway, hold on.
Hi, lady. Hi, Matt.
Hello.
So anyway,
Company.
I had told her about it. She come in there and we said, "Well, I'll sit with you for a minute, you know, and wait for him to come back home." So I said, "Okay, thank you." So she comes in there and sits with me, and all of a sudden she hears it. She goes, "My God, what the heck is that?" I said, "That's what I've been hearing. It sounds
Who's
like a moan, you know, somebody moaning."
Oh,
that?
And
Sure. You sure it wasn't your neighbors?
no, and this is
somebody
late at night.
motorboating.
Yeah, you better
Sorry.
watch it.
Know what Joe's got going on.
I know. Stop it. But anyway, we're
No
sitting there
filter.
freaking out. Well, the next thing I know, we're sitting there, and one of the cupboard doors from in the kitchen opened up, and we looked at each other kind of funny. I didn't think much of it because you know I know sometimes kitchen doors will do that. Well, it's time
Really? Where?
in the house. As far as the house goes, I had some friends. Well, her and her husband came over one day, and she met my other friend Janie, where I used to party with, and we were all sitting there at the table drinking one day, and all of a sudden my living room door flies wide open and slams as soon as it opened, it slammed. And the kids would come up there at night when I'd go to put them to bed and stuff. They'd go to bed for a while, but then they'd wake up and come back and Mom, there's something in the closet throwing stuff at us. And I didn't know whether to believe them or not, you know, or whatever. Well, one night I was sitting downstairs and my daughter comes down and she was telling me that. And I thought, okay, we'll just stay down here because I figured she just wanted to be down there near me. And so I was sitting there and the day before I had bought this little wooden rocking horse at the yard sale that was next door to me, right? And I got it for the baby. And I was sitting there and just see my daughter. She goes, "Mom, look." I said, "What?" She goes, "Look." And the horse was rocking. It was rocking back, you know, how they do.
Was that the spring?
No, it was the wooden one.
Front door.
Oh,
It was
like
the
that.
wooden one.
Slamming. I've been like,
And so I was sitting there and I thought, okay, I'm just going to blow it off. Well, it was around Christmas time and I had just put my tree up. And I always unplugged them at night, you know, because I didn't want to leave them going through the night. And I was sitting there and all of a sudden my tree lights come on. I'm like, no, I had them unplugged. So I went over there to check to see what was going on. They weren't plugged in. This is the honest to God truth. I'm not lying.
Somebody was messing with you.
Big
wow,
time.
that's
So as time went on, this is why I told you, this is why I'm kind of leery of Ouija boards. Time went on, I had this other friend that we met down the road from us. His name was Josh. And he lived down the road from us. And And he came down there one day. We was all sitting there talking and stuff, and I was telling him what was going on around there, and he said, "Oh, I believe it." He said, "I can tell you why too." And he told me that there was this couple that used to live in there, and I guess one of them had passed away or something. And he said the man of the house was mean, and I guess he abused his wife a lot or whatever. And I was sitting there one night, and I told Josh, I said, "Well, I'm going to make a Ouija board."
Mm,
And it kept giving me this name William.
it's a good idea.
Shut up, Joe.
It kept giving me this name William, so I messed with it a bit more, and I asked him, I said, "Why is the name William coming from? Was it the person that lived here?" And he said, "Yes." Well, I had looked over at Josh, and he looked at me, and he said, "It's funny you said that because that was the guy's name was William."
What the fuck?
Oh, hell no. Sorry. I had to
So I thought, okay, I'm destroying that bitch. So
say.
I tore it up. I threw it in the garbage. I said, "Nope."
Gonna have a bonfire. Oh, damn. All you did was throw it in the trash?
I threw it in the garbage. So
Ugh.
anyway, I made it out of paper.
Oh.
I
Oh,
cut it
I
up.
yeah.
You know how to
Yeah,
make
okay.
paper stuff. Okay,
Well,
well, I made it.
Hasbro
I
didn't
didn't have nothing at the time to work with it. Really work with it at the time.
Yeah.
Well, as time went on, I was sitting there one night, and you know how you feel like you just have this evil staring at you at times. You feel like you feel off.
Yeah.
Well,
More
I was feeling
vulnerable.
that one night, and this was the night that me and my husband got into a big argument. And I don't know if that's what actually caused us to get into the argument was part of that, or I don't know. But it got so violent to the point he had me down choking me, but when I got up, I went and got me a knife.
Oh shit.
And I threw it at him.
Oh, my
Oh
God.
shit.
And
Just when you think
I told him, I
crazy,
said,
it
don't you
will
ever
work.
take me down like that again. And I was pregnant.
Oh.
That's the only reason I did that. I was
See,
trying to not protect only myself, but also my baby.
Yeah.
here's my baby.
And
See, Joe's
so
got a pussy.
after that, we didn't stay together much longer. After we stayed about another year and a half together, and then we.
Yeah, I'm sure the whole choking and knife throwing probably did.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Didn't help matters any.
No. No.
Got skills.
Yeah. Reflexes.
Well, I wasn't gonna let him hurt me.
Good.
I wasn't worried about myself. I was worried about the baby. Hi, Rainy.
Right.
I'm back again.
Hey, Rainy.
We're telling ghost stories or whatever you want to call it. True ghost stories. But yeah, that's what happened to me. And one other time, when I was younger, my mother got this doll at this yard sale.
A doll.
A doll.
A dog.
I was about like 13, 14 years old. I was around that age, where she thought, I guess I could play the doll or whatever. And
Oh no.
so, anyway, we were getting ready to go to bed one night, and that's the first night I had the doll. Okay. I got it upstairs. I put it on this rocker at night, when I'd get ready to go to bed. Well, one night I was reading what Matt said. But anyway, I was getting ready to go to bed one night, and all of a sudden this rocker started rocking. I was like, oh, nope, not going through that again. Nope. So I went and got the doll, and I put it in the
Threw
closet.
it
I
away.
never saw that doll anymore after that. I don't even know what happened to it. I don't know.
She threw it away.
I didn't care.
You put it down the
Burn for all I care.
but
She
that
threw
ain't
it
down
out
the
the window.
down the sink.
Somewhere.
We'd throw shit down the sewer. That's the kind of shits we were.
Burn it.
Me and Wayne had some experiences over there where we used to live. Scary.
No. I don't want to speak too soon because I don't know if anything in here is real wood for me to be knocking on, but so far my place
I
is
just usually do this when I say that. Just knock on wood.
Knock on wood.
That
man.
work. That whatever works. Yep.
My place
Yep.
is all calm up in here.
Miss K, if you're lurking, we love you.
Huh?
Lurker. I can't even see the chat.
Look up in your comment section where it says
Yeah,
comment.
click
Oh,
comment
it's
on
on.
that private
Oh, it's been on that the whole time. Oh, there.
I was like, who the fuck are they talking to?
I didn't know. I thought you had to do it on YouTube or something.
No,
Yeah,
I left her a message a while ago, and I told her I was going to come live on her channel tonight. So
There's a place here. It's called Devil's Bridge, and there's like a old story about how this dude was. I don't know if he was like a serial killer. No, he wasn't a serial killer, nothing like that. But it's in the woods. You got to walk about a mile, get to it, and there's a river here that goes that way. And then it's like a T right there. And there's a bridge that goes over it. But the story was that this dude kidnapped 3 kids and hung them at this location. But they found him because, they had the dogs out chasing, trying to find the guy. And they found him there on the side of the river where he had killed the 3 kids, and they hung him there too, right on the spot.
oh
But-
wow.
And I've never been there. Well, it was dusk one time we were walking out, and that shit was spooky. It was like dark gray, blue kind of fireflies out. It was spooky. Let's just say we got out of there pretty fast.
a
Didn't
creepy
hang
area
around.
here. How Scooby Doo.
Scooby Doo.
Scooby Doo. I used to play. Well, I used to. Wow. Okay, I kind of recall that none of y'all know where I live.
I do.
There were a couple cemeteries that I could ride my bike to. They weren't very far, and one of them actually was a cut through. We had this baseball league in elementary school called the Optimist Club, and instead of, because our grade school we didn't have teams until I was probably in the 7th grade. Where was I going with that? So there was a cut through, and you could cut through, and there was a baseball diamond at the back of the cemetery. And it was called Valhalla Cemetery. And I used to ride my bike through there because they had these narrow asphalt trails that were really smooth and you could really take the hills and stuff. And I had been going there for years, and only during the day because I was very sheltered as a child, not allowed to go out past dusk. When them street lights came on, my ass was home.
That's the way we were too.
Actually, and we didn't have cell phones back then. My dad just whistled really loud out the
Yep.
door. And your ass better be within proximity of that hearing. Because, yeah, anyway.
Well,
There was one time when I went and I was just riding through and just kind of looking at the tombstones and stuff, and they had the baby area, which was really sad. But I felt like I was being watched. But nobody was there, not even groundskeeper or anybody. I'm like, and I just got so creeped out, like it was just like wanting me out, and I just left and never went back. That was it. Like I was probably 14
during the day.
during the day,
Wow.
sunshiny day. I was scared.
That would have been a trip.
Well, if they're there, they're there. Whether it doesn't matter
Right.
what time, if they're there, they're there. You know,
They
that's
apparently knew
funny.
I was there and didn't appreciate it. So I was like,
Yeah.
alrighty. I don't need to be here. It's okay. I'll just write
Nita
it.
was talking about Ouija boards back when I know I was 11 years old at the time of it, but I had a friend of mine that we grew up. She lived a street over from me, and we'd known each other since 5 years old at least. And I got to know her family, and she kept telling me that her dad's dad, they called him Snoz because he had this huge nose.
Okay.
Okay.
I was gonna
But-
ask.
Poor
But he
guy.
was really mean. And her dad wouldn't have anything to do with him. And she said that the only reason he goes to his parents' house is to check on his mom. And I have always been able, I've been an empath. I told you I was an empath and a dreamer and things. And at a young age, I'd realized something wasn't right. If I get a feeling to just get away from them or whatever. But I was going to go spend the weekend at a little trailer they had on a campground at a Lake Palm de Tar here in Missouri. And we went down, but we stopped by his parents' house on the way down. Now, their house, they owned a bunch of land, and there was a bunch of trees and stuff, but they had a clearing, and their house was right smack in the middle of it. And this was in July, and it was like 100 degrees outside, and no shade, no breeze or anything. Well, we went in the house, and I met her grandma, and oh, honey, this, I felt fine. And Lori had asked, where's, Grandpa, like that. And she said, oh, he's out. He'll be back though for long. And pretty soon he came in, and I kid you not, he walked in the door, and immediately I wanted to get sick.
Oh,
wow.
I was like, oh, and he said, how the hell long have you guys been here? It wasn't, hey, I'm glad to see his grandkids.
wow.
None of that. He wanted to know how long they had been there. And I don't know. I couldn't even stay in the same room with him. And so I just said, I'm going outside. And I went outside, and I sat out in the 100-degree temperature in the sun because I wasn't going in there with him. Well, about maybe a year later, this man passed away. And there had been comments made in the family with Lori and her brother and stuff. No one went to the funeral.
Whoa.
It just,
Wow.
no one liked him. They couldn't, how he treated people and everything. And Lori her mom was looking in the Wicca religion, and was looking into it. And so did Lori. And I don't know, they had a house, and they, while they was building this house, they lived in the basement. And then, of course, once they got the house built on top, they moved upstairs. But the downstairs was pretty much like a house in itself. It was just a small version, And she had called me, and she said, what are you doing? Why don't you come over? I want to try something. And I said, well, okay. And it was getting dark. And Mom said I could go over. And she said, why don't you just see if you can stay the night? I said, okay, yeah. So I hurried up and got over there before it got dark. And we went downstairs, and this girl they had the old pull down blinds, it was on the little spring rollers. She had pulled down all the blinds, and they had this piano, an old upright piano down there. And she had a table set up, and she had a freaking Ouija board laying on this table.
Oh, hell no.
And she had a candle on the piano, and there was a candle on the table. and there was a kind of like it'd be behind me, but in a corner on a table, a candle going. And I didn't really know a lot about them, and she says, well, this is what we got to do. So I'm going along with her, and she says, no, quote, this is her grandpa, hey, old Snoz, are you around? And I kind of looked at her, started laughing. She said, shh, and she said, I know you're a mean old man. And she said, and I didn't like you when you was alive. And I mean, she did everything just to goad him on.
Oh, wow.
And the candle started flickering a little bit. And it was just that candle. And I was like, okay. And then I started getting this creepy feeling like I was looking around the room,
Mhm.
and all of a sudden she said, how was it she worded it? Something to the effect of, I dare you to show your mean, ugly face. And when she said that, I kid you not, every candle blew out. All the window blinds went shh.
Oh,
And
no.
I didn't take the time to go upstairs. I ran out the back door. And I ran all the way home, and I was running so fast I couldn't get stopped. And I ran into the front door. Mom come out, was yelling at me, what are you doing? You're going to break the glass. And I was like, I bet the whole time I was running, I felt like I was being chased.
Oh, I bet. They say that.
And Lori screamed. Of course, she ran upstairs, but I was like, no,
Not my house.
I'm not. Mom said, what was you girls doing? And I said, oh, Lori had this board over there, and Mom's eyes got, big. And I said, she was trying to get a hold of her grandpa. She said she thought she could talk to her grandpa. And Mom said, well, you girls are messing with things that you don't know anything about, and you should know better than, And then Lori calls me. She says, are you staying the night? I said, hell no, I'm not staying the night.
Not after you did all that crap. Hell no.
Yeah, really.
But that was my first, and it was the worst experience. Now I've dealt with people that was done the Ouija board, and I came in the room after they had, and it was a lot different, and they had bad experience, and I went through a lot. There was a friend of mine who's medium, and I asked him the right way to get rid of them, and he said, well, if you want, just bring them to me. But I have no idea. But I told Lori, I said, don't ever bring that thing out if you still got it. She said, no, Mom took it. So I don't know what her mom had done with it. But yeah, after that, I was like, no, there's too much. And over the years, investigating with the group and things, we came across the situation. And quite honestly, the situation's still going on. But this girl, this woman, her grandkids had gotten together. Well, it was actually her kids and her nephews had gotten together. I think the oldest one was 13, but there was an 8-year-old girl in there. And this girl got picked up, thrown out of the room, came across the hall and smacked the wall in the hall. And from that time on, she had an attachment, and she liked it, and which was very problematic as a whole different area there.
Yeah,
but anything that I had, true things, my experience, it was kind of a funny thing because I was 11 and I didn't know squat about what, but I'm telling you right now, it wasn't a set up deal. And for Lori to be scared, and it was her idea in the first place, and she just wanted to see if she could get some sort of a reaction from me. She just didn't want that reaction, is what it was. What it amounted
Careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, but that's something I have always, even when I'm around them, I've been around people that's had them and had them laying around, or even in a store.
Mm.
There's something about it. I'm just like, no, I'm not even going to even attempt to think about it. I
Yeah.
know some people that use them during investigations. And I guess if they know how to open and close them and, and they're confident in themselves,
Allegedly.
that's fine. But you wait for me to go outside or something, if you're going to
I'll be
do
at
that.
St. Christopher's Church down on the corner. Yeah, that's all right.
Guys, I just got a message from Kay,
Yeah.
and it's not looking too good on her part. She might go to the emergency room tomorrow.
Oh,
Is she having breathing problems?
She's not doing good, she says. She's still hurting.
Mm.
why is she gonna wait till tomorrow?
Probably the only time she can get a,
Right. Oh,
get a ride and
Get
stuff.
in there and get back. And
Yeah. So keep her in, everybody keep Kay in your prayers.
mm.
this is Southern Charm, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wait, Matt was here earlier. Damn it! It's pronounced Shaw Woman, and I'm Dina. And I changed my name from my real name Dina to Shaw Woman because there was Gina in the channel. Whenever Emmy would say Gina, I thought she was talking to me, and then I felt like an idiot. So
Right. I have to listen if there's any Nickies. If there's any Nickies, and there is other Vickies, but if
yes,
there's Nickies in the chat, I have to really watch, because if not, I think they're talking to me or
yeah.
something. And
I'm like, oh, is she meaning to talk to me?
yeah.
Say Gina or Dina? I don't know. So
Regina.
where the hell is Gina?
Yeah, she said she was still not feeling good and still hurting, so
Mm.
Ugh.
hopefully they'll do. That's what I told her. I said, hopefully they'll do more for her this time.
Yeah.
Dina, you didn't tell your ghost story yet.
Oh, I told the cemetery story.
Oh,
She
that
was
the
being
scariest thing
watched.
ever?
See what, Joe?
Was that the scariest thing ever?
I don't think that was the scariest thing ever. When I was about 9, the way our house was, I don't know, it was weird. I had my bedroom, and then across from my bedroom, if I looked out my door, was the bathroom. And then my brother's room, and then the linen closet was next to his door. So I happened to wake up early one morning, and I was laying on my side, and I happened to look out into the hallway. And I saw this green misty mist form out of the linen closet door into like a head form, and it turned and looked at me. And I just blinked my eyes really hard and just stared at it. And I'm like, am I really seeing this? And, I was like, it wasn't like I couldn't move. It wasn't that kind of thing. What do they call that? Night terror?
Not or sleep paralysis type
Sleep
thing.
paralysis. I didn't have
Yeah.
none of that going on. So to this day, I don't know if that was real or if I was just awake dreaming or what the hell. But there was a green, misty ass man's head that came out of the linen closet door. And I just rolled over and went back to sleep. I didn't know what else to do. I wasn't scared. I didn't feel scared. I was more of a, what is that?
Yeah.
Why are you in the linen closet?
Right.
Yeah.
At 9, get out of the closet.
Right.
That's funny. Yeah. That was kind of the creepiest thing, I think.
I don't know that it takes a lot for me to get what I could say scared.
Me too.
But there's stuff that has really bothered me during investigations. Now I have seen a lot of orbs And I mean, with my own eyes, not just
Oh,
taking pictures of them and
right.
stuff. And I've seen shadows and things like that. But I think the most, there's been two cases that we worked that has still stuck with me, type of thing. Very, very little demonic stuff have I ever worked with. I kind of told you a little bit about it. We did an investigation for a woman who called me and said that, and she lives on the outskirts of town here. But anyway, she called me because she knew her house was haunted. She said it isn't a matter of whether it is or it isn't. She said, I thought it was kind of a poltergeist thing. And she was using a lot of terminology that made me think that it was kind of, maybe she'd been watching a lot of ghost hunting shows or something, you know.
Right.
But I still, but why I said okay is she said her grandson, who was 12 years old, had been picked up and thrown, and he almost went completely through
Oh my God.
a bedroom window. And he had a big cut on his arm and had to get stitches and things.
Holy crap.
And
Oh,
she
wow.
said, I need to find out what this is and how I can get rid of it. So we loaded up and we went out there, and she hadn't told me anything that they had a history or anything, And she had told me that, things like her kitchen cabinets was coming open constantly in the drawers, and stuff was being moved, and she could see it being moved while it was being moved. And the kids, if they stayed the night, was constantly being messed with, and it was mainly in this one bedroom. And so we started. It was about 10 o'clock at night when we went full-fledged, lights out. And I don't go around and just turn lights off. I go to the electrical box and I flip the breakers off.
Yeah.
And we had been there, and I had Marty, he was our medium, and him and I both was getting something in the closet of this bedroom. And it was strange. You could go down this hall, and then there was like a linen closet straight in front of you, and you go to the right, and it was the room that the little boy had been pushed through the window. If you turned left, it went into another room. Well, if you went in the room to the right, you got this uneasy, like they didn't want you in there. Whatever was in there did not want you in there, and it was coming from the closet of this room. And then you go in the other room, and you knew something was there, but you knew it wasn't malevolent.
Right.
And it was, and Marty said, it's almost like whatever is in here is protecting the kids from what's in the other room.
Mm.
And I was like, yeah. And it was just really weird. It was strange because both of them was coming from the closets of the bedroom.
Mhm.
Well, then we realized that these closets butted up against each other in the rooms.
Okay, that makes sense.
And I was like, okay, I wonder. And Marty's like, I'm going to see if I can find a porthole or something, And I'm going to try to wrap this up because this really just is long and drawn out. But we were there, and Marty worked a pendulum and asked questions, and he got all kinds of weird answers. And we ran the voice recorders, but there really wasn't no activity. I mean, the meters wasn't picking up anything. My rods wasn't picking up anything. Nothing was. We really weren't getting anything. Well, about 1 o'clock, this woman came to me and she said, my daughter is getting off work. Now, this is the mother of the boy that got pushed through the window. And she wants to know if she can come out here. She said, I'd really like for you guys to meet her. And she kind of gave me this weird look. And I said, well, I don't have a problem with it as long as, you know, she isn't bringing the kids where I don't like kids around when you're investigating. And she said, no, she's not. But she said she wants to come out. And I said, yeah, I don't have a problem with it. Well, it was almost 2:00. And I kid you not, up to this point, there had been nothing as far as on our meters or anything other than what Marty and I was feeling. And she came through the door, and I did not know she had came in. And at the time, I was doing my rods, and I had another member of the team walking straight beside me, and she had K2 meter and an EMF detector. And I got right to the beginning of the hallway, and she came in through a door behind me, across way back into the other part of the house.
Oh.
And I got to the entrance of the hallway, and the meters both went off. The rods started doing this type of shit. And I kind of stopped at first, and I went ahead and took another step. And when I did, the rods just went straight.
Oh, good Lord.
And it felt like, and I still haven't since then. It felt like somebody had walked up and put their hands
Put their
on
hands
the
on
tips
you?
of the rods and was like, "You're not going
I've
any
heard a lot of
further."
people say that.
And I started to take another step, and when I did, it literally pushed back.
Oh.
And my hands went back, and I said, okay, that's it. Well, the meters kept going. And then when I said, okay, the rods both swung around and pointed directly behind me. And we turned around, and the rods moved around, and there she stood. This girl stood there. And she said, I hope I'm not, but I wanted to introduce myself. And I said, okay. And immediately, no matter what or where we walked, the rods would follow her.
Wow.
Would just follow her. And she kind of had this smile, like, type of thing going. To make a long story short, Marty immediately picked up on it. He said, Vicki, she has got an attachment, and it is demonic. And I thought, okay, well, I need to talk to the mom. So, and Marty said, I'm going outside. I've got to get some air. And he went outside, and I set the mom down, and I said, okay, whatever is going on, I don't believe it's the house. I believe it's attached to your daughter. And she said, it's still with her. That's exactly what she said. It is still with her. So I'm imagining to hear a story about a girl getting an attachment, so forth and so on. And she says, well, I wasn't going to say anything. And Marty came in, and he started saying all this stuff. He said, where is Satanism come in? Well, where's this? And she said, well, my first husband, her dad, was a Satanist. And she said, I didn't really give a crap what he did. She said, I didn't know it, though. He had an altar and all kinds of stuff in our basement. And she went into all this different stuff that he was doing that she didn't know about. Until he tried to kill this girl as a sacrifice when she was 4 years old. He did kill her, but they brought her back. He drowned her in a bathtub. And her older sister, who was 2 years older than her, which means she is 6 years old, ran and told the neighbor her dad was killing her sister.
Oh, no.
And to this day, he is in the pen for this stuff. They had found where he had stolen animals and sacrificed them in the neighborhood and just all kinds of stuff. Well, so happens this little girl, because of what she went through with her dad, she was a loner. The kids made fun of her. She overate. She didn't, she was in bad shape mentally. And she was the one that walked in when they was doing the Ouija board and got thrown.
Oh no.
And ever since, she was 8 years old when this happened. And ever since this happened, but she told her mom that it was a little girl.
Mm.
And so her mom thought it was like an imaginary friend type thing.
Mm.
When this little girl was 10, her mom woke up to the older sister screaming and ran in the room, and this little girl had poured a bottle of fingernail polish remover down her sister's throat while she was sleeping.
Oh no.
And of course, the cops, everything took her in, and she said, he told me to. And they literally, and she told them she was going to keep doing it until she killed her.
Wow.
She would do it again. They institutionalized her until she was 13.
Oh wow.
And her mom thinks that what happened is she was in there long enough to know the right things to say for them to release her.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Probably.
When they released her, she was 13. So you figure she was in there over 3 years. She acted different and things, but she was always getting in trouble and always dark, and all kinds of stuff was happening in the house. And so we went and talked to her, Marty and I did, the girl. And at this time, I think she was 28. And she was manager of a Burger King. Okay. And she had 3 kids. And one of them was less than a year old. But Marty told her, he said, I know exactly what I can do, and I can help you. I can get you to some other people that could help you. Now, Marty is connected with John Zaffis. Okay. Do you know who John Zaffis is? He's on a collector. He worked with the Warrens for a while.
Yeah.
Okay. Marty said, I can get a hold of him and we'll get you to the right place where we can get rid of this once and for all. You won't have. And she says, but I don't want to. And her mom spoke up. She said, but he's hurting your kids. And she said, he got mad because I hadn't paid him any attention. She said, but it'll be okay. I know what I need to do. And she refused help. And that's how our investigation ended.
Oh wow.
Her, and to this day, this girl is out there. Now, about a year and a half ago, this investigation took place back in 2009. I think it was the end of 2009. And about a year and a half ago, I ran into the woman, and it's 2.5 years ago. I ran into the woman, and she was in bad health, and I seen, I don't know, not even 6 months later where she had passed away. But she ended up taking her grandkids and was raising her grandkids because this girl got so bad, and the mom just said no, you know. And so she had her grandkids. So I don't know. I wondered what happened to them.
Whatever happened to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wondered
They're
about
so
her,
young. I'm
you
sure
know.
the state probably got them.
Right. But as far as, I guess you could say I was scared because I had never dealt with anything like that.
Right.
But what bothered me the most was this girl's attitude. It didn't bother her, you know. Oh, he got
been possessed.
He'll be okay.
She
You
knew.
know.
She knew when she
Yeah.
showed up. She knew.
She might have been possessed.
Yeah.
I don't think that she was necessarily possessed. I think that she was so starved for attention because nobody would be friends with her because her dad had tried to kill her, and everybody knew this. And so they wouldn't let her be friends. The families of the other kids wouldn't let her their kids be friends with her.
Wow.
And I think she just got lonely. And well, she did tell me that when he first came to her, he came as a little girl. But later on, as she got older, he showed
John
his true
Schaefer,
self.
the nephew to the Warrens.
Yeah. But he appeared to her at first as a little girl.
That makes sense.
But
Wow.
that really bothered me on something like that.
Yeah,
You know?
well, me too.
And there's another case that we dealt with, and it never was. Once I figured out what was really going on, and I can't really talk about it a whole lot because if anybody knows, they'll know. It's to the
Understandable.
point. The case got to the point that I let this man know I knew what was going on and why he was dealing with a demon. And things better change. And this man changed his whole career in life. They sold a house that he grew up in. Hey, stop it, you two. And I got a dog and a cat chasing each other. And he moved to a town and started a whole new life. And but yeah, he was, I don't think he was yet, but he was on the verge of doing things that he should not have been doing. And he was a school teacher.
Oh, wow.
Okay, does that kind of give you an idea of, okay, he was a school teacher for elementary kids.
Oh, wow.
And his wife is the one that came to me, and he was dragging his feet about it, and I think he knew why. But they seen this thing in their house and very descriptive. And when I finally nailed what it was, and I was like, okay, I know what it is. And I couldn't figure out why it was coming after him.
Wow.
And I had to do some research, and then I had a dream of this other guy by the name of Mike coming to me and telling me, okay, this is it. So I called his wife and I said, okay, I'm just going to tell you a dream I had. If you can make sense of it, you tell me. And I said, this guy named Mike, and I said he looked to be in his mid-20s, came to me and told me that your husband was getting ready to do some things. And she said, my brother. And I said, what? And she said, describe what he looked like. And I told her, I said he had what I call dirty blonde hair, and he combed it over to the left, and he had some sideburns. And I said he looked like he lived on a farm. I said he had a t-shirt on, but he had a farmer's tan and this kind of stuff. And she said, did you see anything unusual about his belt? And I said he had a big round belt buckle. And she said, yes, that was my brother Mike.
Oh, wow.
And she told me, I said, well, I need to talk to your husband. And she said, well, what is it? And I said, I just need to talk to your husband. He told me to talk to your husband, so I'm going to talk to your husband. So I just told him, I said, okay, I know what the demon is, and I couldn't understand why he was after you and her, but now I do. And I told him about the dream I had, and I said, now things will change. And if they don't, expect the other direction to happen.
Yeah.
And so, but he did. I mean, he quit. You figure he had been a teacher, from my understanding, he had been a teacher for 12 or 13 years.
Oh.
And he went through all these special education and all this different stuff. And he just up and dropped it all.
Wow.
And bought a flea market. He runs a flea market in Kansas City.
Okay. I hate Kansas City. I really.
That's where I was born, hon.
I
was born in
can't.
Kansas City and raised.
I've been there like maybe twice in my life because my brother went to Rockhurst for his first year in college.
Yeah.
But literally, Kansas City is like one of those areas where there is a railroad track and you don't want to cross it.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I
There
know.
wasn't a whole lot to do. That's what I found. I just
Well,
didn't-
it's because you don't know the places that you need to go.
Well,
There is. There's a lot more here than what people realize there
we
or
stayed at the
was.
hotel that had the shopping center inside it.
The what?
We stayed at the hotel that had the shopping center inside of it.
Oh, the Crown.
I guess.
Ground
The
Royal
one.
or whatever it's
Now
called.
that hotel is the Hyatt Regency Crown
Yeah,
Crown
yeah.
Center. The Hyatt Regency. That is the hotel that walkway collapsed and all those people was killed in there.
Really?
Yes.
Well, that was back in
It
like
killed like 100. I want to say 116.
1988.
Well, let's see. My sister was dating a mortician. This is how I know how many people died.
Oh
My
my
sister was
God.
dating a mortician, and I was 23, so it was 83 when it happened. It had to be about 80. No, it had to be 79 or 80 when it happened.
Mm.
But yeah, that hotel down there. But no, but as far as seeing ghosts and things, I seen a ghost is what got me investigating. And I was 16 when that happened. So it was my grandma. And yeah, I felt her. And so did my mom. My mom didn't see her, but my mom felt her too. And for both of us at the same exact time, going through this, I knew that for sure what I was seeing and what I had thought was going on. And that's when I did my first investigation like 3 weeks after that happened.
Wow.
So now the house I live in, there's several different stories about the house. It's 122 years old.
Oh.
And back in the early 80s, I had a cousin that lived here. And my mom and dad would come down from Independence and stay the night every other weekend here. And they go to the music shows and stuff with my cousins.
Oh, wow.
And my mom came back and she said, Louise has a ghost. And she said that her and Louise they got all worked up and they stayed out late and this happened on a Saturday night. They had went to a music show and they didn't get home until late, and Mom had drank so much coffee. She said she couldn't go to sleep and all this. And make a long story short, the women was sitting up in the living room, and all of a sudden Mom looks up and this woman's coming down the stairs and turns, walks right in front of them, doesn't acknowledge them, and goes off into this other end. And Mom looks over, and Louise is sitting there, and she says, you seen her too, didn't you? And she told her, she said, that's the lady that her and her husband built the house. And she said they don't mess with you, but said every once in a while between 5 and 6 o'clock in the morning, if you're up, you will see her come down the stairs. And she said where she went and where she was standing sometimes used to be an old wood cook stove. And Mom said as she was coming down the stairs, it looked like she had put it on an apron over her head and was reaching back and tying it as she was coming down the stairs. So then in 87, I moved down here and Louise still lived here. And my oldest daughter was 7. And Louise asked me if she could stay the night with her granddaughter here. And I had forgot all about this. And I had never been in the house. I'd been outside of it, come pick up my daughter or whatever. But I'd never been in the house. And I let Stormy stay the night. And I had to pick her up the next morning because she had a doctor's appointment. And she come running out to the car, hopped in the car, and she says, Christina's grandma has a ghost. And immediately my mom's words came into my head, And I said, oh, yeah, what did it look like? And she said the same. She said we was having a slumber party and we couldn't go to sleep and we was in the sleeping bags. And she says, Mommy, this woman come down the stairs and she walked in front of me. And I was thinking, oh, my gosh. And I said, you didn't get scared? And I said, she didn't say anything. She said, no, she didn't say boo or nothing.
You didn't say boo.
So then when
Literally.
we came down for me to buy this house so Dad and I could live in here, I thought, okay, this house would be great because he was used to coming here and staying the night with my cousins. And I didn't know if he was going into Alzheimer's. I knew he had dementia, beginnings of it. And if so, this house would be something that was familiar to him. And I had forgot all about, the ghost. And Dad had a bad night. He had caught the flu. And I don't know, we lived here maybe a year. And I chose to sleep downstairs because my place was upstairs. And I chose to sleep downstairs so I'd be closer to him because he had run in a fever and was throwing up. And I was on the couch and I heard creaking on the stairs. And I had woke up, but I was just laying there. And I raised up and looked over the back of the couch, and here come this woman down the stairs.
Oh, Lord.
But when she got at the foot of the stairs, she just dissipated. So there was no walking in front of me. And I didn't have lights on or anything out there. But, and of course, I didn't get a picture of it either. But
if they go upstairs, don't they bother Jesse sleeping up there?
Jesse sleeps in the same room I do, and I did, and when I was up there, and he says he hasn't seen anything, but he has heard footsteps, which all upstairs is carpeted. But and I did too when I stayed up there, and I can hear him down here, and I'll ask him. I said, "Did you sleep very good last night?" "Yeah, I was good." "You didn't get up, walk around?" "No." And I said, "Well, I heard a lot of walking going on." And he said, "Yeah." And I said, "I thought it was because it sounded like hardwood floors.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
And it's all carpet up there." So I was like, okay. But I thought possibly me being down here and it's echoing down, it's,
Right.
made it sound that way. But yeah, no, but it's all residual. There's nothing other than my mom running through here. My mom was in and out here so much when Dad was here and going through his stuff, and the stories I could tell you on the things he told me, and I knew it had to be true. My dad didn't say ghosts or spirits. He said haints. He called them haints.
Haint.
Haint.
Okay.
Haints.
Oh, wow.
He said, "There's haints running through this house." I said, "Well, you tell them just keep going and go right out the back door." Okay, He said, "Yeah." He said, "There's a woman walks through here." And he said there was a woman walking carrying a baby. And I said,
Oh,
"Did you
wow.
say anything to her?" And he said, "No." Said she just looked at me and smiled, though. He said she went on in the kitchen in there. Okay.
Anybody ever do a spirit box?
I have done a spirit box, yes, and I got a person that I was like, oh my God, I got my ex-father-in-law.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
And
that was unpredicted.
This is my kids' grandpa, their dads. And he laughed. My grandson and I was sitting in the living room, and I have a Victrola. And now it is a replica. It's not an original one.
Oh, okay.
And it has, they have the horns on them. And all of a sudden, this horn come off the Victrola, went clear across the room, cleared the dining room table, and hit the chair, and then hit the floor. And him and I looked at each other, and he said, "Oh, me, Mom." And I said, "Yeah, whoever it is really wanting my attention." And he said, "Yeah, they don't mess with your," and of course he forgot the word Victrola. He called it my ventricle. He said, "They don't mess with your ventricle." And I said, "Well, you're meaning my Victrola, but yeah." He said, "Let's get the spirit box." So I got the spirit box. Now I'm thinking it's my brother, and I thought, no, my brother wouldn't do that, because he knew that the Victrola meant a lot to me. And I was thought, Anyway, so we get it out, engage my grandson. He says, "Is anybody here?" And we heard this male voice say, "Yeah." And I stopped and I thought, that sounds familiar. and he said, "Are you the one that was messing with my Mima's Victrola earlier?" And he started laughing. And the minute he started laughing, I got sick to my stomach. I was like, "Oh my God, you evil shit. Get the hell out of my house."
Sayonara.
And Gage just stopped and I said, "Oh, that's your Papa Jesse." And he said, "Papa Jesse ain't dead." And I said, "Old Papa Jess," because Jesse Dean, my Jesse is a third. Okay.
Okay.
So this was the senior. And yeah, I was like, "Oh my God, turn that thing off." And he's got to go. So I went to Sagen, to say the least. I went to Sagen and go away.
Well, I'm going to get off of here, guys.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be on here very much longer myself. It's been
Well,
over an hour already.
yeah, hour and 45.
Really long? No.
You guys have a good night.
You do, Joe.
Thanks. We'll
Thanks
talk
for
to you
coming.
Hi, Joe.
Later, Joe.
later.
He's a good guy. You like him.
I've known him for a while.
Yeah.
Online only. I've never met him, but yeah.
Maybe this summer and get together, come up or something. We'll have to all three get together and
You never know.
go out
Yep,
somewhere.
you never know.
Even if
The
it's
last time I was in
after dinner
St.
or
Louis, Nina, was 2009. And for my birthday, Jesse bought me the Ghost Hunters book, Jason Hawes and Grant Wilson's book
Oh,
that they wrote.
yeah.
And he gave it to me. And when I opened it up, it had tickets. And they were going to the college in St. Louis. So, and it was happened to be on my birthday. So I went up there and listened to him. And then I met him afterwards, and both of them signed my book and stuff. But that was the last time I was in St. Louis, was up there at the college.
they got
Not
a
much has changed.
Huh?
I mean, right after, not much has changed. Right after that was the whole Michael Brown thing. And
Yeah.
literally where I live in the Ferguson Florissant School District.
Yeah, well, I knew it was in
I
Ferguson.
could spit to Ferguson. That's how close I lived to that shit. I know exactly where it was and everything they burned down. So yeah, it was.
Wow.
It was scary.
Well, I know Daryl said that.
Now,
they got an art museum here I'd like to check out too, and they've also got Dow Gardens here. I'd like to check out this summer. They have a butterfly, butterfly room. I'd love to see that, but I think you have to make an appointment to get into that.
I don't live very far from Alton, Illinois.
Oh, really? Alton,
Yeah.
Illinois? Now, my
the
mom's
entire
mom.
town of Alton is haunted.
Oh, yeah. My mom's mom, the one who's Quaker, that's where she was born.
I
Was
love
Alton.
Alton.
And
I love
her name is Alta Mildred, but she went by Mildred.
Oh,
But
awesome.
her first name is Alta.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like that.
Okay, Rainey. She did that Michael Brown thing. He was a filmmaker.
Oh, wow. Really? Am I that old? It wasn't that long. It doesn't seem like it was that long ago.
Yeah.
Michael Brown was the African American teenager who was shot and killed by a police officer. And
He was shot
unarmed.
8 times.
And he
He
was
was
unarmed.
shot 8 times. And then they left him laying in the street for
They
hours.
literally did. I watched it all live.
Yeah,
They
I want to
covered him in
say it was like 6 or 7 hours, wasn't it? Before
Yeah,
they just
it
left
was because the dude that has to take the pictures for the police department, when he showed up,
Rainey said she's asking.
he didn't have a whole lot of shit. They were waiting on him to take his pictures for the crime scene.
Right.
And he didn't even take enough pictures because he didn't bring enough film with him. It was a total complete fuck up.
Well,
But
you know,
yeah,
they didn't.
unarmed
What
black
got
man
me?
got gunned down and
Right.
riot
What got
ensued.
me is they didn't cover him up for the
They
longest
did
time.
eventually. Yeah, yeah.
Eventually they did, but you figure that helicopter was going over and hovering
Oh no,
low.
you could see him bleeding
And
out
yeah, you could
live
see, and
on
can you
TV.
imagine his family?
Oh
His
wait, that
family
wasn't on
having
TV. That was a streamer. Yeah, that was.
Who was he? The filmmaker?
Was no filmmakers. It was. This was like the whole beginning of
they started
the
riots.
live
There was
streaming of the the individual media people just going out
Oh.
into the protests. This was
Yeah.
the beginning of the protests. This was the beginning of BLM.
Mm.
Michael
Right.
Brown.
Yep.
Michael Brown was, if you look at the case, it's not what you think, but it was the straw that broke the camel's back when it comes
Yeah.
to justice.
Right. And what he done was wrong. He shoplifted.
Yeah,
But
he didn't
what he
deserve to
did was
die.
wrong. Well, not only that, he was shot in the back.
Yeah.
He was shot in the back.
Several
8
others
times.
have been, yeah, and that's why
Yeah.
the BLM kept growing and growing because it kept happening. Nothing was changing.
Yeah.
It was recently that there was some shit that stirred it back up again.
Oh no.
And the Aubrey case,
Yeah.
and those 3 white guys that got life plus 10 years. I was like, oh yeah, they had to.
We
do
don't watch the news enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm like,
Yeah.
what has changed? And nothing really had changed. But then BLM started up again.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I'm like the capital of BLM. That's where I'm located.
It's all started by Dina. Dina started it.
Yeah, Dina.
Hey, nothing to do with that. No.
No, they
Oh,
went.
well, you girl.
That shit.
People went nuts, and
we haven't
I
been hurt.
understood some
Oh,
of
it
it.
was
but-
Floyd. Floyd.
Yeah.
He,
Floyd,
yeah,
when
he
he
stirred
choked
it
him.
back up again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Another, and then everybody wants to
Now wait a minute.
make
Floyd's
the
my dad's
guy
name
look
there.
bad. So they get his fucking, they get his entire work history, all the crimes he's committed.
Yeah.
Oh, he had a drug problem. Well, he didn't deserve to be gunned down.
Yeah, especially
Rainy,
back in 8 times. Shot
because
8
there was a
times.
Michael Brown filmmaker recently sent me a message on Messenger asking for suggestions and connections for haunted Hawaii locations. He friended me on Facebook.
There
Yeah,
is a
Rainey,
Michael Brown.
that's a
as
different Michael
filmmaker.
Brown. Sorry. Michael Brown dead.
The Michael Brown we're talking
That
about
might be a troll.
Yeah.
is his spirit.
He was the victim.
Maybe a spirit connection.
The victim of an asshole police officer.
but-
Careful, Rain. It might
I'm
be a
white, I'm
troll.
scared. And why does every Karen have to be white? It's really embarrassing.
I know it. I know a Mexican Karen real bad, and
Do you? Oh
yes,
God, another
I
white-
know. I also know a Chinese woman, a Korean woman, actually.
Oh.
Not that I'm not racist at all, but yeah, it I
would've
don't
kind
care
of
what
expected
color
from
you are.
them
There's
more.
Karens out there, let me tell you.
They
Yeah.
have a different culture. I would kind of expect it from them more, but not white people. Like, get off your high horse.
Oh yeah.
Allow me.
Right.
I'll show
I'll
you how
help
to get
ya.
off.
Yeah.
Well, ladies, I think I'm going to call it a night and jump off of here. And
All right.
I appreciate everybody that came in and came up on the panel.
Was
It helps
fun.
me a lot better.
I hope
think
that
you
It's
did
so
good.
lonely.
you enjoyed it too.
Wayne said this is one of the streams he's really enjoyed.
Yay! Well, that's an accomplishment right there.
Right. Him and another a lady who is Ghost Adventure Location Research, contacted me for a while. Oh, wow, Rainy. Oh,
Well,
yeah,
see,
girl, get her done.
Isn't her Rainy in Hawaii?
Uh-huh.
That's
Is
what I was
she?
thinking. Yeah,
All right.
she's in
We'll have to get
Hawaii.
her up here on
Jealousy.
panel with us, Rainy.
Jealousy. We're having
She's never been on
snow.
my panel. I'd love to have her come up on my panel.
Maybe next time.
Yeah,
Yes,
we
good
haven't
night,
even
Wayne.
yet either. So
Ghost Adventures. Okay, Ghost Adventures is wanting to get some locations from her.
Zach Bagans.
Yeah.
Bagans. As I
Yeah.
call him.
They're wanting demonic places, and if they're not demonic, they will be by the
Yeah.
time they're out of there.
Yeah.
right. Especially with Zach around.
Yeah. If it wasn't
Yeah.
haunted now, it will be.
It will be.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a
So good
bad
luck with
way
that.
of
Right.
drawing them in.
All right. All right. Well, I'll catch y'all later.
All righty, ladies. I love you
All
guys,
right.
and thank y'all for being up here on the panel with me. And love you guys, Rainy, Wayne.
Now we
Streamyard,
finally got
chat.
up here. That was good.
It's been 30 minutes. Yeah. It
Maybe
was
we can
great.
talk Rainy into coming up next time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Miss
that
Kay,
ain't no big
if you're
deal, Rainy.
listening, I am
No,
going
we're
to be
just-
praying for you.
Yeah. We'll keep her in the prayers, Kay.
Yes, Kay. All right. Everybody take care.
All right.
All
love you
right, hon.
guys.
Bye.
Night.
Night.